going on, guys? Bflattened here with a brand new video today. We're talking about Amp Witch, Amp Vex. I'm not sure what the build name is going to be at the time of the recording of this video, but it primarily focuses on Amp and also a couple of underrated guns that not a lot of people use, I don't think. Some of them are pretty meta, but the gun in my hand right now is pretty fun as well. So let's go ahead and go over the build, shall we? So we're going to be sitting on the bod, which is pretty standard for most Vex and also just builds in general. Counts as all different types of weapons, so you can put gun damage, shotgun damage, snipers, SMG, etc., etc. Really good gun. This bod is also with a torque sticky license, so that means you get stickies with it. You probably saw that in the intro against the boss. So one is going to be your boss, one's going to be your mob. The one that I'm using in my hand right now is the Oh My God. I did actually release a video on Oh My God recently, so make sure to check that out on where to obtain it, and also just what it does in general. Very good though. And finally, the Midnight Defiance. This was the Twitch drop sniper, Vladov sniper, fully auto, but if you don't have one of those, the Burt's Bees is fine, the Chaosin is fine, Anarchies are okay, Queen's Rest is great. Just as some honorable mentions, Katagawa's Revenge is great, Slugger can be okay too, Hellwalker is fine if you need some fire damage. Play around and test out as much as you want, but these are what I use at least. For the rep kit, I'm using a triple bypass. It has Enrage, so on use, you get more damage dealt, but you take more damage. But you can use pretty much anything you want. Kill springs are fine, but I like to sit on the triple bypass the most. Crit knife, it's everybody's favorite. It's probably one of the only things that people use these days, but it's probably going to get butchered really soon. So if you want to get off the crit knife, you can use things like the Swarm is okay. This one is definitely out-leveled, but Destructo Disc is fine. And anything that has your damage and payload. You don't really need the Penetrator Augment because of our skill trees, but damage and payload is actually pretty important against bosses and high health enemies. We're using the Teen Witch Com, which is actually super important for this build. You want to get it as many into the 5-point skill as you possibly can. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But whenever you have max HP, your lifesteal applies to shields. When you have max shields, you get over shields. Super important ability. This one happens to have gun damage lifesteal, so it's pretty good. Always comes with lifesteal. I'm using a Watts for dinner. Sparky Shield is also okay too if you need a additional shield, if you don't like the low capacity. But Watts for dinner is really good. Make sure to farm it with Amp, because it actually does a lot of damage because of that. Especially with all of our skill trees and our shield that we're throwing into it. Now, the enhancement, you can sub it out for pretty much a couple of different things. I use the Lady Killer. It has the ricochets on non-critical hits, and also you have a chance to gain a critical hit as well with the 2 that it has there. You can use the blind box as well, also fairly good. If you want to use anything that gives you gun damage, assault rifle, SMG for your bod, you can do that as well. But I primarily go back and forth between the blind box and the Lady Killer. Those are probably the top 2. For firmware, it's a split between 3 into Deadeye, 2 into Trick Shot. 3 Deadeye gives you stacking crits and also just flat gun crit. And then the Trick Shot gives you more gun critical hit damage, which is very important. So 3-2 split. For our skill tree, we're primarily into green. We're taking 5 points into Grave Sights and Grave Implements. We also have max out into Grave Power. So this is kill skills. We have gun damage, and we also have critical hit damage. They just all kind of work together pretty well. We have 3 points into target prescience. Gun damage gains critical hits against any part of enemies. We have 3 out of 5 in this just because of how our skills work out. Middle of this tree here, which is where our augments are going to be, we have Drinkful for fire rate. We have Phase Pocket for mag size. This is actually not required. However, I do just like the increased mag size and gun switch speed. if you want to swap between weapons fairly quickly, but definitely not needed. You can throw these 3 points like into target prescience if you really want to. You can put more points into conjunction if you want to. Totally up to you. Mortal Terror, chance to activate kill skills when you critically hit enemies. Again, if you're hitting crits, you're activating kill skills. There's a kill skill total is going to be having more max stacks. Just really, really good with the build. We're taking Witchy Trigger Finger, which gives us more gun damage. And we're also taking Vibe Check, so now our Eldritch Blast has 3 charges on it, which is what we really need for gaining our refill of ammo. Whenever you hit with the Witchy Trigger Finger, you refill ammo on your guns, especially low ammo guns like the Bod, for example. Really helpful with that when you're going for fast boss kills. On our right side here, we have Grave Vitality, Max Health, Health Regeneration, Essence Leech for more lifesteal, and Blood is Power. You gain bonus kinetic damage with guns based on your current lifesteal when the health is full. And finally, with our class mod, the one that we were talking about was Conjunction. You gain increased gun damage the more full your shield, and gains damage reduction the less full your health is. So, since we're putting a lot more into our shields than our HP, this is very helpful. You gain increased gun damage the more full your shield is. So we're always gaining lifesteal into our shields. And we're always stacking into overshields, which is perfect. More shields, more conjunction damage. So you can throw more points into this if you want, especially if you're taking out Phase Pocket. And finally, in our red tree, because we have nothing in blue, there is a few important skills in here that I don't really see a lot of people use for some reason. So this is going to be a little switch up to other AMP versions that you've probably seen. I think Enchantment is just absolutely busted. You gain bonus kinetic damage with guns while your action skill is active. Again, we have 3 charges, so we can stay in our action skill for a while. And you're not limited to your grenade ordinances. You can still aim down sights while your action skill is active. You can enter vehicles while your action skill is active. So why you're not using Enchantment or anybody else beats me. Very, very good. 37.5 bonus kinetic damage. We have 1 point into Grave Sustenance. You restore a percentage of missing action skill duration as a kill skill, so you could sit in your action skill even longer for 5%. And 1 point into Overprotective. Vex and her minions gain Overshield. Again, more shields, more Overshield, especially if you're going to be using the Ohm. When Overshield is active, your energy shield doesn't deplete, which means you don't consume ammo at all when you're shooting this thing. So you're gaining amps with it, you drain with amp, and then you just gain all your shields back, gain all of your Overshield back, and you're never consuming ammo. Very, very good for mobbing. Absolutely busted just to put 1 point into it. For our specializations, there's really only 2 things you need in here. Everything else doesn't matter. The ones that you want is the best defense. The Vault Hunter gains increased damage dealt based on the fullness of your shield. Pretty much just jumping into Conjunction again, but as a specialization. You get 30% when full. And the other one is Riddle You This. Whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, you gain a stack of it. Whenever you gain a stack of it, you get more gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained for a duration. So more enemies that are around, more stacks that you gain, more gun damage that you gain is essentially what that is. That pretty much concludes it for the skill trees and specializations and also gear that I use. If you saw the intro, you would see that there was quite a lot of fast kills on that thing. But what you really want to do against bosses, if you're using the Torque Sticky bod here, what you want to do is you want to activate your action skill to get into action skill, plant your stickies, go down to like 1 or 2 ammo, launch your Eldritch Blast. Your Eldritch Blast is going to respawn all of your ammo back to full, and then you just wash, rinse, and repeat. So that looks kind of like this. You're just going to drain your Torque Stickies. You throw this, you get all of your ammo back. You shoot until it's empty again. You shoot your next Eldritch Blast. By the time that your 9 ammo drains down to 0, you'll have your next charge of Eldritch Blast. So you can just wash, rinse, and repeat the 2 together. Throw your crit knife, swap, reload, whatever you have to do. All those bombs go off at once. Boss is depleted. That's it. When it comes to mobbing, it's just oh my god, and bod. You just hold down the trigger. You're just gonna lose your shield. Whenever you hit or kill an enemy, you gain shield and overshield back. Don't consume ammo. The only downside with this thing is the explosion damage is very, very close to you. So you want to make sure that you have gained some distance between you and the mob that you are going up against. So certain rippers, suicide bombers, or rams, whatever versions you're fighting, those things can be pretty hectic for you. That's when you want to swap into like the Midnight Defiance if you're in fight for your life, because this thing does a ton of damage. Or also the bot, of course. Having kinetic damage on most of your guns is going to be really handy because of our kinetic damage. However, the ohm always drops in shock, which isn't a bad thing, but you get to combine it with the watts for dinner for more shock damage. When overshield is active, you just grant 25% more shock damage. We're always having overshield, so just flat bonus shock damage, because why not? I think that about does it for this build. Let me know what you guys think, and if you come up with a name before I do, I would be very appreciated of what we want to call this. I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Bflattened. I'm signing on out of here. Take care all. Laters.